Hello everybody, my name is Jason Scott. I run a business called Woodbenders in Brookings, South Dakota, and I was going to start a YouTube channel to show you what I'm all about. So my first video is going to be a shop tour, so we can see how my shop changes over time. So let's get right into it. Okay, so now we're in my shop. I'm right at the doors. My home base is a 10 by 16 shed, and it's got 8-foot wall or 8-foot ceiling, and yeah, let's just get started. So right off the bat here, I have an assembly table, and as you can see, it's very dirty. As far as stains, paints, and glues go. I just have some loose tools. I just sold a toolbox, so that's why all these are here. I have a pencil jar, scissors, pens, and a pencil sharpener here. Right here is where I keep my rotary tool or Dremel. I like to engrave signs and stuff like that. That is something that I do. Right here is what I like to call my Kreg shelf. I have my Kreg jig here, K3, and I have all my screws going from 3/4 to 2.5 inch in order up the rows. Right here is my sanding station. I have a Bosch sander. I don't know the amperage on it. I don't really pay attention to that. Look, a 2.5 amp sander. Up here I have my organized disc shelves. I have them in order from 60 grit, 120, 220, and then abused. I put all my abused ones down here because I can always use them on projects that kind of need to be sanded, but not really, such as shop projects. So right here I have my two of my tape measures. My main tape measures that I like to use, I have a 25-foot Craftsman and a 25-foot Hart. Right here, that's just a blanket ladder that I had built. Down here, I have a pegboard coming off my assembly table with screwdrivers, a mallet, an air hookup, and 2 C-clamps. Underneath my workbench is paper towels and a holder that I had built, and then a compressor. That's just a toy from my little sister's room. And then up here on the wall beside my workbench is a lot of more screws and nails, more that I don't use. So if we go right to the left of my workbench here, I have a little door-mounted shelf that I have my stamps, and I have just door supplies over here. I have a piece of felt, my keys, and my lock, and this cup. And then up here I have a bulletin board and some razor blades. And then right here I have a light. It's nice and bright. I use it when I'm going into the house at night. And as you can see, I just have some standard shed doors on my shop. Over here is a little bit neater of a table. I have my pegboard set up right on it. So right here I just have a square up level, and then I kind of put all my not out of the package type ordeals up here. So I have some T25 and T20 bits right here. I have my Sawzall blades here. I have a lighter, another blade, 1 1/4 inch nails, my stapler, my hammer, a paint roller, file. I have 3 paint brushes, but I plan to have as many to fill up that whole rack there. Some JB Weld that I haven't used yet, some jigsaw blades, and a homemade sanding block. Those 220 grit sandpaper. I'll make a video on how to make one of those. And then of course I have some paint sponges. So going right to the left of that here, I have my clamp storage. And obviously, as you can see, I don't have that many clamps. I have 2 spring clamps and 2 bar clamps, and then 1 C clamp or D clamp here. And yeah, I just built this. Comment down below if you want me to make one and show you how I made mine. I also have another D clamp. It's just in that pile over there. So over here is all my drills, drivers, and just a flashlight. So most of my tools that you'll see are Craftsman C3 series. I have a few brand new tools too. So I have a drill here, 19.2 volt, 19.2 volt impact, 20 volt impact from DeWalt, 19.2 volt light, 12 volt Bosch, and then this is my brad nailer. Right here I have some racks where I keep my dustpan, a shovel, and my broom. And then down here is where I keep my vacuum cleaners and a box of dowels. So right over here is what I'd like to call my sawing station. Usually my jigsaw sits right here, but right now mine is out of commission, so it's not there. I have another tape measure for my saws. This is my Craftsman C3 19.2 volt circular saw. It's 5.5 inches, and then this is my Craftsman C3 sawzall. Right here is my Craftsman 10-inch 15-amp double bevel sliding miter saw. It's really neat. It's got a light on it, so it's really accurate when I turn it on and off. I have a vacuum hose running back down to a vacuum cleaner that's under it. And then I have a bag with all other bags of tools. I do have, I have a little tool in there. I don't know what quite you would want to call it. I guess you could call it an oscillating tool. And yeah, I don't really use that much, so it's in that bag. That is just a case for my sander. Over here I just have a heater that keeps my shop warm in the winter, and when it's not winter, I'll put a fan in here. Up here I keep a lot of my lumber. I have a very organized system. I keep all my 2x and 4x up here. I keep all my plywood over here, and all my 1x are down here. So since it's in my mom's yard, I have to give her a little bit of storage space under the shelves. Right over here I just have my ladder. So down there are my packing peanuts that I use for packing my products and shipping them out. That's just a pellet rifle I use when I'm not woodworking. So right here is just a little shelf that I had built. Here's my glues, rubber gloves, ear protection, garbage bags, paint, polyurethane, stain. And down here is just some spray-on glue, Flex Seal, and lighter fluid because I burn a lot of my scrap woods and sawdust. So right over here you can see I have my breaker box. I have 5 breakers set up here. So I have lots of electricity coming through here. My miter saw has its own, so it doesn't pop one. And then this whole wall is on and off by 1 wire. And then there's 2 more wires running through this wall. Also there's one running through my light up there. And by the way, video coming soon that I can think of now is getting a new light. I'm gonna put some fluorescence going throughout just to make it a little bit brighter in here. And to finish it all off, here is my product shelf, I like to call it. So down here I have just some boxed up products. Right here is my most recent product that I'm making. It's just a cutting board, and I'll make a video on how I make those. Up here I have my drill bits in a notebook. I have my Fragile stickers right here, and then a charging station. And I know it's not a legitimate charging station, but I do have a outlet strip and chargers with all my batteries over here charging, so I'd like to call it my charging station. Up here's another one that I'd like to make a video on. These are called jewelry trees, so I'll make a video on how to make those. Obviously you can see they're pretty dusty, aren't they? So yeah, that is my shop tour. Stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned.